Hello, welcome to the third video in the AWS Security Quick Study. This video is going to be talking about Identity and Access Management, aka IAM. There's a lot of steps to properly using IAM, but it is necessary. It's a whole procedure all geared around defining who in your organization can do what and ensuring that only those people have those abilities. It's important to define some key terms in IAM. The first is user. A user is a permanent named operator. So it is Joe Smith or a particularly named Lambda function. That can be an operator as well. The next is a group of users. That's fine. The third is a role. So people get confused sometimes on what a role is, but knowing the difference between a role and a user is important. So a role is a temporary category of operator, and it's not a set of permissions. So let's say, for example, database updater. It's a role for someone or something that will go through maybe a database and be allowed to make certain modifications. That way someone can come in, fulfill that role, and when they're done, their access will be revoked. Then we have policy document. So a policy document is the set of rules or permissions that can be attached to a given user or group or role. That's actually delineated. This action under these circumstances are allowed and these ones are forbidden. So for example, it can list the APIs that are whitelisted across specific resources. Right now is also a good time to bring up AWS's policy of least authorization. As an IAM user, you start out with a blank slate as far as policy document. If you have no policy document attached to you, that doesn't mean that you can do anything. That means that you can do nothing. A relevantly authorized person has to go in and begin giving you authorizations explicit allows. So the AWS Security API first verifies you are Joe Smith or you are database updater. And the way it does that is through keys and secret keys, depending on whether you're going into the console or what have you. But the first step is to check your identity. After it checks your identity, it checks what permissions are connected with that particular identity, and thereby it validates the authorization for that operator. If you have had some experience in AWS, you'll find it to be a little bit tricky and kind of confusing, because you have to download these secret keys and store them and then use them. But you don't have to go into that level of detail for the Cloud Practitioner, but you have to, at the very least, I would recommend doing some IAM just simply for an EC2 instance, understanding that what it means to generate a key value pair for the secret key and kind of a general idea of how you're using it, maybe with CLI. That can help give you much better context. All right, till next video.